Hello everybody, welcome back to Thomas and Friends Engines Working Together from Feastbell Series Episode 6. We're going to the engine depot to see the characters' profiles. So use the joystick to select characters you wish to visit and press enter to read their profile. So here's some 10 profiles you have to see. There's no Henry, or, well, only Henry wasn't in it on the engine profile at the moment, but I don't know why. So we're starting off with Bertie. That's the first row at the top. Hello Bertie, how are we? So here's some information about Bertie. Bertie has a great deal in common with Thomas. Ever since their great race, they have been the firmest of friends. Bertie's strongest characteristic is his friendly grin and his readiness to help any engine prepared to admit that just sometimes roads are their uses as well as rails. So he is owned by Sodor Roadways and he works near Thomas's branch line. After Thomas became stuck in the snowdrift, Bertie came to rescue Thomas's passengers. He later raced Thomas after claiming he was the faster of the two, but lost after having to stop at a traffic light. There's some very interesting information that was in Series 1 and I think Series 2 as well. Only in 1984 or 1986. So let's hear Bertie's sound again. And I like his clean and shiny red coat.
Diesel 10.
It's time to see the troublemaking diesel engine Diesel 10. Diesel 10 is very devious just like Diesel. Here's his horn. And here's information about Diesel 10. Diesel 10 is a renegade diesel engine on the island of Sodor who is 10 out of 10 for brutal strength and devious deeds and is out to destroy the harmony of the back controller's railway. So his first appearance is Thomas at the Magic Railroad. Diesel 10 once visited the island of Sodor a long time ago and caused trouble for the steam engines while he was there. During his visit, he found Lady, the late engine responsible for keeping Sodor alive, and chased her, making her crash. Following the accident, Lady's caretaker, Bernard Stone, hid Lady in his workshop and tried to restore her, but failed to bring her back up to steam. Several years later, Diesel 10 came back to Sodor when the Fat Controller was on holiday, intending to destroy Lady forever. He was first seen by Thomas and Gordon when he raced past them at Caliban Station and brought his two lapdogs, Splatter and Dodge, to the railway, who were present when he was scheming. He caused several problems for the steam engines, such as dumping sneezing powder around Teethwood's sheds, timber sheds, and later destroying the scaffolding that had been placed beside the shed. Which is very bad, of course, when Diesel 10 causes trouble. So, and in the end, Diesel 10 was sent away in disgrace. In the Thomas and Friends series, Diesel 10 later returned to Sodor years later under unknown circumstances. It can be assumed, however, that Sir Topham had decided to give him the second chance. He was seen working at the scrapyard, loading piles of scrap into trucks. The very sight of his return caused Thomas and Percy to shudder in fright, when the steam and diesel engines were holding a meeting at the coaling plant, so they could work on the Sodor airport. Thomas was sent to the scrapyard to inform Diesel 10 of the meeting. However, Thomas was too frightened to meet Diesel 10 again, and sped away as fast as he could, not believing that Diesel 10 would want to help the steam engines due to their difficulties in the past. Soon, the airport was nearly with its construction, until a water tower collapsed, cracking the runway and blocking the line. With Harvey all the way on the other side of the island, Thomas went to ask Diesel 10 for assistance. After some slight hesitation, Diesel 10 agreed to help clear the wreckage. Well, so that's very interesting. This information is from Thomas and Friends Calling All Engines, which is a good film from 2004 or 5. So anyway, we're moving on to the next engine. Sorry it took so long. I was just adding extra information about Diesel 10. Here is Edward, the really useful engine. Here's information about Edward. Edward is one of the older engines in the back controller's railway. The most important thing about Edward is that he's good-willed and kind. When the other engines misbehave, it's Edward's turn that the back controller turns to in order to calm everyone down and restore order. So Edward is a blue mixed traffic tender engine. He runs his own branch line with Bucko. He is definitely the oldest engines on Sodor. So Edward was built by Sharp, Stewart and Company in their Atlas Works in Glasgow, Scotland in 1896. He worked on the Burnless Railway's Kilburrian coastline before coming to Sodor on loan with other engines in 1915. That's the olden times, of course, so I wouldn't worry about that. So Henry is kind, just like Edward as well. So in the Thomas and Friends series, Gordon was teasing Edward about how useful he is. But then Gordon said sorry to Edward after he teased him. That was on Series 6.
Edward
anyway,
number 2 blue engine.
Let's hear Edward's whistle. His whistle sounds good, in my opinion.
Emily is a very kind engine.
It's Emily. Hello, Emily. We're on to Emily. She is a really kind engine, of course. So, Emily is a beautiful engine with shiny paintwork and gleaming brass fittings. After she rescued Oliver and Toad when they were stuck on the tracks, the Fat Controller rewarded her with a brand new pair of coaches. So that was in episode 1, season 7, where Emily accidentally took Thomas's coaches without asking. But in the end, Emily has got her own coaches, which is good.
Emily is a very kind engine.
Let's hear Emily's whistle. There has been a mistake on Emily's whistle. She has Henry's whistle, apparently. So it's time we have to look for our favourite tank engine, Thomas the Tank Engine, the number 1 blue engine. So, you can hear his whistle. So, here's information about Thomas. Thomas is a cheeky, fussy little engine. He often gets into scrapes, usually by being over-eager to do things best left to bigger and more sensible engines. But clouds never last long in Thomas's world, and he's soon bustling about again, playing his part in the yard and on his very own branch line. That's his favourite job, taking Annie and Clarabelle to his very own branch line, of what he is extremely proud of. So, anyway, Thomas first appears in the Railway series, and it was first introduced where Thomas is getting tricked by Gordon, apparently. Yeah, Thomas sometimes caused mischief, but attempt to put things right at the end. So Thomas's best friend is Percy, of course. He wants to be the very useful engine, of course. Anyway, and he is the best engine in the back controller's railway, of course. Anyway, let's go
Thomas is the
to the next engine, which is Gordon. Gordon, the number 4 blue engine who loves the Poorly Express.
Number 4 blue engine.
Hey, Gordon. You can hear Gordon's whistle as well. And here's information about Gordon. Gordon is the senior member of the engine family, the fastest and most powerful of the back controller's string. and he knows it. He's good-hearted foe and always willing to forgive, and uses superior strength to help smaller engines out of trouble. So Gordon's favourite job is to pull the express, and he usually gets stuck up the Gordon's hill. And so Edward came to the rescue for Gordon as well.
Gordon is the big express number 4 blue engine.
Yeah, and also Gordon can be quite grumpy sometimes, of course, and can be happy with the express, of course. He, of course, well, do you remember in Gordon Takes a Tumble when Gordon is showing Salty a thing or two, as the back controller has said? Of course, well, and Gordon felt really bad, and Gordon was meant to teach Percy in Gordon Takes Charge, but then Gordon was too busy showing off. But then at the end, Gordon is showing Percy how smooth he could go, which is good. So anyway, it's time we go to the next engine.
Harold is a good-hearted helicopter.
Here is Harold the helicopter, and inside is his cargo. In the railway family, Harold can hardly avoid having a high profile. He brings a welcome spot of Dash to the quiet landscape of Sodor whenever he appears, and even if the noise he makes is occasionally worrying, he is good-hearted and the engines are always pleased to see him.
Harold is a good-hearted helicopter.
So his first appearance was Percy and Harold. He is part of the search and rescue team. He is operated by 2 pilots. When Harold first met Percy, he stated that railways were slow and out of date, but was proven wrong when Percy beat him in the race. When Thomas's brakes failed while boarding at the station with an Inspector Hunter, Harold chased down the line. For Christmas that year, Harold brought Santa Claus to the party at Tidmouth Station. Harold also dropped hot drinks for Percy's crew when they were stranded in the floating river. In this series, he became friends with Duck after rescuing an injured sailor. Harold used to live at Dyrrell airfield by Thomas's branch line. He keeps a watchful eye over Sodor in case of trouble. He speeds to the rescue of anyone in distress. Oh, I forgot to tell you, in the instrumental inspiration in the engine depot of each character, it was Emily. Anyway, about information about Harold again. As a Misty Island rescue, he joined the Sodor Search and Rescue team and lives in his own hangar at the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. Since joining the team, he has been involved in the search for Thomas when he got lost, saving Bertie from the Shake Shake Bridge and helping Charlie to recapture an elephant which escaped from the Sodor Animal Park. Once Harold's rotors became jammed, so Thomas and Duck took him to the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. That was in the CGI series that happens. So anyway, on to the next engine. And I think
James is the number 5 splendid red
James,
engine.
the number 5 red engine. Here's the information about James. James is a medium-sized engine. His 6 driving wheels are not as big as Gordon's and not as small as Thomas. He is the same size as Edward. He has a fine scarlet coat, red coat, and brass dome, and likes to think of himself as a really splendid engine and shiny engine. That's a sign of boasting, that is. This can occasionally lead to highfalutin ideas about the sorts of work suitable for such a noble creature. Invariably, they land James in trouble. So, I need to find the series of Thomas and Friends that happens on the Wikipedia. So, James arrived on the Northwestern Railway sometime before Thomas's arrival and was originally painted black and wore wooden brake blocks. So that was in the CGI movie, The Adventure Begins from Thomas and Friends. And that's all the information about James at the moment. And there's more. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The James was misbehaving quite a lot, and the track controller tells him, if you can't behave, I shall take your record away and paint it in blue. And James didn't like that at all. But then in the end, after James did the good thing, the track controller tells James to keep his red coat of paint. Which is great!
James is the number 5 splendid red.
You can hear James's whistle as well after you press the yellow button. It's time for Percy, which is the next session.
Number 6 small green engine.
He is first introduced in Trouble in the Shed. Here's information about Percy. Percy is the junior member of the principal team of engines. He is a happy little chap who's normally quite happy, puffing around the yard with no particular desire for adventure in the great world outside. He is always keen to oblige, a fact of which the other engines are apt to take advantage. So, Percy's favourite job is to deliver the mail, and he works on Thomas's branch line as a goods engine, of course, which is good. So one winter, the cold was severely getting to Percy, so he tried to think about warm things. He was wearing a scarf that accidentally landed the back controller's suitcases and covered in jam. And the back controller was very cross with him. Percy will watch out again, of course. That night, Thomas and the clean Percy prepared to go to sleep happily, and that the firelighter had agreed to arrive earlier the next day. Henry and Percy make up, and Henry assures Percy that the weather will be warmer the following day. Which is really good, because that is the episode of Scarf for Percy. That's from, I think, Series 3, 1991 series.
Percy is a number 6 small
So
green
now,
engine.
that's all the information about Percy at the moment. It's time we're going
Toby
into
is an
Toby.
old-fashioned number 7 tram engine.
Here's Toby. Toby is from has a wooden paintwork, the number 7. Well, Toby isn't painted, but has repainted wood, a brown paint on the wood. So, he has a faithful coach, Henrietta. Here's information about him. Toby is old-fashioned, both in looks and outlook. Every engine, no matter how old, wants to be really useful, and having once nearly been scrapped, Toby is always happy to work. He is not above being temperamental sometimes, but since he works mainly up on outlying quarry line, he can work off his moods without causing grief to anyone except his own faithful coach, Henrietta. Which is really good.
Toby.
So that's all the
old-fashioned
information
number 7 tram engine.
about the 10 engines.
Bertie
Of
is
course.
a bright red bus.
And then it's a shame there's no Henry or Bill and Ben or some engines down here.
Select an
So
depot.
that's it for Thomas and Friends Engines Working Together, because we completed it. So thanks for watching Thomas and Friends Engines Working Together, guys. Working together, engines working together, I meant, sorry. My words are muddling up again. Anyway, so please subscribe, like, and comment what you like about Thomas and Friends Engines Working Together. And I'll see you later for the next episode of Feastwell series. So see you later. Bye.